Go.
Hi everyone, it's me AJ.
Melody.
Bryson. Brenna.
And Gemma.
And we are
the Blind Cruisers.
And we just thought we would do this week about our very first cruise on the Carnival Glory as people who are disabled. So how this came about very quickly was we had a land vacation at an all-inclusive resort the year before, and there was a family emergency, so our sighted family who could drive us had a medical emergency the day of. We still made it to that vacation, but afterwards Melody and I had a conversation about, well, if we can do that, we can do other types of vacations. So we looked into a cruise, and the one that worked out for us with my work schedule at the time was in August of 2018, the week of our anniversary, Melody and I's wedding anniversary, and we decided to go on the Carnival Glory out of Miami. Now, that's just the background story. Melody, we didn't drive down, did we?
No, we didn't fly.
We didn't fly down because life happens.
Life happens, yes.
So we took Amtrak.
And we did not do a sleeper car.
It was horrible.
So we went from Cary, North Carolina,
to Miami, Florida. And it took us 28 hours to do this trip. And it was rough. We did it in coach. I suggest that if you decide to take Amtrak to anywhere in Florida, that you get a sleeper car, unless it's just a day trip. So we finally get to Florida. It's late. We get to the hotel. The kids are tired. We're tired. We take a bath. It was a really nice hotel. It was close.
The Crown Plaza, Miami Airport.
And so I gave the kids a bath and we went to bed. Right, guys? Well, after we ate dinner. And then the next morning we got up. We got an Uber to the cruise port. Bryson, do you remember what ships you saw? Do you remember at all?
No.
No? Well, I think there was the Serenity.
No, don't worry about the names of the ships.
Okay. But there was several humongous ships there. But then AJ goes, that's not what we're going on. And when we pulled up to Carnival's, it was the Glory. It's a smaller ship.
It looked like one of the smallest in the port.
I'll let AJ describe more of what the ship looked like.
Well, it was a smaller ship, but a lot of you probably seen videos on the Carnival Glory. Remember, we're brand new to this cruising life. We used a big market travel agent who really didn't understand the special needs form, and that's why when people ask about travel agents, me and other people say yes, 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 especially ones that you can get along with, like our family travel agent, Sharon Asmus at Sharon at Sea, because she understands when we call or email to set up a cruise to immediately send that cruise line a request in for the special needs form, because when you are disabled with anything, that form will save your cruise experience.
It will save you time and heartache. And
this is why we strongly recommend this.
It doesn't matter what type of disability you have. Even if you have a food allergy, you need to fill out that form. Don't feel like, oh, I don't have any type of disability, but hey, I'm allergic to seafood. Well, the staff won't know unless you fill out that form.
And the staff really won't accommodate your needs unless that form is on file and sent to the ship.
And
as we discovered...
Oh, yes. Unfortunately, the travel agent that we were using did not understand and did not fill out the form. So when we get to the port, we're expecting assistance. We are hoping, oh yeah, we just go and they're going to help us get through. No. They said, sorry, we weren't expecting you. We didn't know you had disabilities. We don't have anybody to help you. So, first off, for me, it was very frustrating. I was stressed out because it was a very rough experience getting onto the ship. At that time, we did not have passports for the children, so we had to use their birth certificates. I do recommend, no matter what age your child is, to get them a passport. It is much easier than trying to remember to bring their birth certificate.
That's good over.
When we finally got on the ship, like I said, they said we have nobody to help you, so we had to learn the ship by ourselves.
Let's give Carnival some credit. Their cruise director, Dustin.
Oh, he was
was
a
amazing.
sweetheart.
We met him that first afternoon on the cruise ship. He went and talked to the guest services managers. Everything that we were promised to get, we did receive because Dustin made sure we got it, and there was actually a guest services trainee on board that week. So he was our point of contact and really did everything they could to assist us. Because if you've been on the Glory, you know there's the Platinum dining room and the Gold dining room. Well, we were scheduled to be in the Platinum, and that wasn't a good...
Which was completely on the other side of the ship. Our cabin, if you remember, Bryson, our cabin was on the first level. We were right at the water, so we had a humongous window that Brenna thought she was going to sleep in, because she was only 3 years old. So she was tiny. She thought she could sleep up in that window, and being a first-time cruiser,
She did actually do it one night.
I was very, very afraid of her doing that. But it was a nice cabin. The kids had bunk beds, and we had a nice bed. I think our cabin actually had a suite door, where if we had another family or whatever, we could go between the two cabins without going outside.
Learning.
Yeah, we had the conjoining one, but we didn't have anyone. Bryson did do a really cute video, but due to I was really upset, we are not going to be able to post it.
Later we can.
Maybe later we may be able to post it after some editing.
But let's stay on task.
The next day, so we got on the ship and we had an interesting afternoon. The kids went and played, I think, in the arcade, or was that the next ship?
That was
the later. Okay.
Later ship.
But you guys went to the sail away party, and I stayed in the room.
Yeah, we went to the sail away party, and the
I
kids
wasn't feeling good.
got the dance, and they got to write a note to Dustin, the cruise director, to let him know that it was their mommy and daddy's anniversary, and Dustin had some surprises for us later in the cruise.
That he only told me and Brenna about.
Yeah, so the first night we made it through, that it was a sea day, and
the second day we were moved to the golden dining room because, like we said, the first night, we took us an hour to find the dining room, and so by that time I was so frustrated. I said, "Is there any way they can move us to the one that's closer?" And they did, which was really nice, and we got a really nice waiter. His name was AJ.
From India.
From India. So if you're out there, AJ from India, we salute you. You were an amazing waiter.
And later on in our cruising history, the assistant maitre d', Stefan.
Oh, yes.
We
Mr.
met him
Stefan.
On the Glory.
On the Glory.
And we saw him in our future adventures.
Yep.
But we won't talk more about that later.
Later. Yes.
But on the very first sea day, Camp Ocean had a program where you could do Build-A-Bear at sea. And I think Brenna's going to show her Build-A-Bear.
Brenna, who's that?
Summer penguin.
Summer penguin.
And as you can see, she still has her. And Bryson has...
Rainbow tiger?
Super tiger.
Super
Also,
tiger.
rainbow tiger.
Rainbow tiger.
Wearing a superhero.
And they've had them since 2018. So the next day, we actually pulled into Grand Turk. And us not having an idea of what to do in Grand Turk, we decided we were going to go spend the day at Margaritaville, where they actually have a outdoor swimming pool in the middle of the restaurant. Like, the restaurant is like totally outside.
And we saw something beautiful.
What did you see?
It was raining, and there was the sun, and we were in the pool, and there was a rainbow.
Yep, there was a rainbow in the pool, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So we just made it a pool day.
Yep.
And then got back on the ship and had a good evening of exploring the ship. And then the second port was
San Juan,
Puerto Rico.
which we did a walking tour, and that day we
Of the
actually
forts.
of the forts and of the capital. And actually, that day we left Brenna at Camp Ocean, so it is possible for you to leave your child on the ship in Camp Ocean if you go off on an excursion. I was really hesitant about doing that, but they handed me a special phone that I kept with me at all times, and they said it could be used off the ship in case of an emergency.
But this is pre-pandemic,
And this is, yeah,
2018, so they might have
It
changed
might have changed. We're not sure
policy and protocols from then to now. So always ask if you're a parent that's nervous about
yet.
leaving your
child.
kid on the ship.
And at the time, Brenna was not potty trained yet.
Mm.
I give so many thumbs up and thank you to the young lady who cleaned our cabin. She had to deal with the diapers. I would not ask anybody to do that.
But we had a very
We had a great
time in Puerto Rico.
Bryson, what was the coolest part in Puerto Rico? Do you
The
remember?
froggies.
The froggies.
The
What do they call the
frogs.
froggies?
Croakies.
The
Croakies.
croakies.
And
And
when
it sounded like doo-doo-doo.
oh, where is your croaky?
Go get him.
While Bryson's getting his croaky to show you, we did do the tour of St. Christopher's Fort. I think that's what it was called.
I don't remember the name.
And one of the cool thing I remember is when you're standing on the fort, you could see Cuba.
Well, that's what they told us.
That's what they told us, that you could see Cuba. But then they also take you down into the dungeons where they filmed.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes.
Dun, 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 dun,
Bryson
dun,
remembered
dun,
that
dun, dun.
they took us into one of the dungeons. And remember they shut the door?
Yes.
What
Nice.
was it
What
like
does-
in the dungeon?
It was rocky and rocks.
And croaky sounds like?
He's not working.
Oh,
Oh.
he's not working?
No,
Okay.
But this is what he looked like.
That's a croaky, and they go, cookie, 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 cookie.
So that night, we
got
had
back on the
got
ship,
back on the ship. Bryson ate his dinner.
and then he went to Camp Ocean.
He took a little nap when we were finishing up our dinner. Then he got well rested for Camp Ocean exploration night.
Yep.
And then
Yeah, the walk was very painful.
It was a really long walk for a kid, but he toughed it out. I'm really proud of him.
Then our third port was
Our third port was on our anniversary day, and it was in St. Thomas. And so that day we decided to leave both the kids, on the ship at Camp Ocean for the day.
Play some Minecraft.
When we got into port, we went to the tourism bureau.
the guys and girls that wear the blue shirts at the port that usually help you with the taxis. And that there was also individuals in the visitor and tourism board, and there's a young man that was working there.
And his name was Adedo, and I give a big shout out to him. He doesn't work for them anymore. He's got himself a better job, as he put it. But he's an amazing dude. He gave us a tour of the port as well as a little bit of downtown, and he actually took us to a restaurant that AJ was wanting to try, and you can tell.
The Tap and Still.
Okay.
Which, if you don't know about the Tap and Still, is they put your hamburgers and your fries
in a bag.
So
and shake it all up.
And shake it up. So all that greasy yumminess from the French fries being freshly cooked soaks into your hamburger, and it's delicious.
It was awesome.
It's
it was
pretty
yummy.
affordable. They got adult beverages that's pretty affordable. It's a great time. St. Thomas is
beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's
we actually got a photo by the fountain.
Yeah,
the beautiful fountain.
To this date, if you ask me, St. Thomas will probably still be my favorite cruise port of the Caribbean, because on the next cruise we do explore St. Thomas again, but at a different viewpoints.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to wait to hear that story.
Hi, Gemma.
Our next day, then we get back on the ship. I think we went to see the show that night. I can't remember. It's been so long ago, so we're pulling from our memories. The next day was my favorite port, and it was the Dominican Republic. We pulled into Amber Cove, and we did a give back to the community excursion through Carnival, which is no longer being offered, which is very, very sad. But we met, do you remember the name of our tour guide, Bryson?
No.
Senor,
Oscar.
Senor Oscar.
Senor Oscar was our tour guide, and he was amazing. The first place he took us to was a cathedral, which was in downtown Puerto Plata. The next place he took us to was a market that was ran by a lot of the elderly residents.
And
we're getting there, honey. And when they don't put their elderly in a home. They try their best to keep their elderly at home with them, and to give their elderly stuff to do. They have this beautiful, beautiful market, and that's actually
that I got lost in.
Well, you also have something that you got there. What did you get at the market?
A double-sided tambora drum.
Can you show them?
Wait, I need to get a good grip.
And that was actually made by one of the locals.
And by hand.
And then we went to a side, it was out in the country, and it was the side of the road stall where this family was making flatbread. Bryson, remember you got to help them make the flatbread?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, he got to ground up all the grains or whatever they were using, and he got to help mix it, and we actually bought some. I don't think it made it home in one piece, though. So we got that.
But what makes Puerto Plata amazing for you?
I'm getting to it. Our last and final stop in Puerto Plata was at a home for girls who are orphans, and it's called Martina's House. If you ever go to Puerto Plata, you have to go visit them. Those girls are so sweet and so kind, and they don't have much. They are children who are given up or are orphaned because either their families didn't have enough money to take care of them, or their families are no longer here. And so we got to have a tour of the home, and then the girls who were not in school, it was mostly the older girls. Most of the younger girls were in
Sleeping.
school.
Yeah.
They were in school. And so the older girls, they put on a show for us. And what did you get to do with the girls?
I got to dance with them.
Bryson was dancing with them. And I didn't say this earlier, but we had left Brenna at Camp Ocean because at the time she was only 3. And we didn't think she could handle walking around and doing all this stuff.
But Brenna, did you have fun at Camp Ocean?
Uh-huh.
So it's A-okay for your mommy and daddy to leave you at Camp Ocean?
Yeah, I play in the ball pit.
You were playing in the ball pit. We also, I forgot that we did have a local meal of chicken and rice and some other stuff. And I'm very proud of Bryson for trying the food because he's very picky when it comes to new foods. But he tried it and he said he liked it. And we got back on the ship. Bryson, what did you tell me when you got back on the ship?
I was sad.
Why were you sad?
Because they had no toys.
The girls had no toys. They had no clothes of their own. They had to share everything. And so what did we decide to do?
Wait, they also had to share only one computer. That majority of the year, it wasn't working.
Yeah. And so what did we do?
And also they didn't have great schooling.
Right.
So what did you decide to do to try to help them?
I decided to make a fundraiser for them to raise money for their orphanage, and so they could get some personal items that they could pick out themselves.
And how much did we raise?
How much
Do you remember?
did we raise?
We raised $650 American for the orphanage, and we gave them a note that said, "Please give $25 to each girl, so they may spend it as they will." And there was 23 girls in the home at the time, and then we said whatever was left to please put towards items that you need for the home, and they did. And within a couple of months, we got videos and pictures back from them thanking us for our donations. And so every time we go down to the Dominican, we try to stop by there and give something to the home. And a lot of the times, I mean, some of the older girls or some of the younger girls actually remembered us. And that's another story, though. Then we got back on the ship, and the next day was a sea day. So the kids, they went to
Camp Ocean,
and Mommy and Daddy won some trivia. I won my first Ship on a Stick for trivia, and we also won Whale Tales for being a part of the Trivial Pursuit couples game. And then that night was packing up, and we had the party that night, right?
Yeah, they had the big dance party.
The big dance party.
And the atrium party, which some of the older Carnival ships are known for.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do go on an older Carnival ship, please, enjoy your time on them and make it the best you can. It was as an experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's, it got us hooked.
If you're on the Glory, I don't know what it looks like now, but if you're on the Glory, be careful when you get off the water slides. There were, at least at that time, there were steps right as you got off. Nobody told me, so we had a little bit of a fall, but I was okay.
I knew exactly what to do.
Yep, and Bryson got help.
There's the few steps. One, see if the other parent is around. If they aren't, two, get an adult that looks like a lifeguard or somebody that could help you find the other parent. Step 3, tell the other parent. And step 4, bring the other parent to the one that got hurt.
Yeah, and everything was fine. We did good. We had fun. That night at the dance party, I got picked because I was one of the best dancers, so I got to take a shot. And it ended up being orange juice because I normally don't.
You're telling them all their secrets.
Oh.
Yeah, you secrets.
You'll get to know Melody's love telling a little bit more than what she should.
Sorry.
But we love her.
It may or may not be orange juice next time. So, but I don't even know if they still do the dance contests. So, this is just what happened when we were on the ship. But we had a lot of fun, and the next day was time to get off, so we said goodbye to our room steward. I gave her a big hug and gave her a big thank you for dealing with Brenda's diapers. and we tried to get off the ship, but we didn't have much help. We had to do it mostly by ourselves, and the person that we were able to flag down to look in our room didn't do a great job, and we ended up leaving some things that we really needed on the way home.
He went.
But things happen for a reason, and we were able to get off the ship safely. We got back to the train station, and we had our fun ride back home. So, like I said, if you're gonna do it, you need to get a sleeper car or just fly.
But this week-long adventure on the Carnival Glory got us hooked
On cruising.
And our next video might be of us
MSC Seaside.
exploring MSC Side and the special surprise that we had on MSC Seaside. So until then,
Wait a second.
We'll see you
We
next
never
week.
talked about the surprises that Daddy did the carnival.
Oh, yeah.
what else, Bryson?
The
The surprise for the anniversary.
Yeah.
We get to the room, and there's not one, but 2 plates of chocolate-covered strawberries and 2 bottles of champagne that were left in our room, and it was complimentary of Dustin and the entertainment staff. And one was from the captain.
And they gave us a discount for Melody to get her very first massage
That was amazing.
in
I
this
forgot about that.
in the cruise spa, which you'll find out Melody
I am addicted
loves
to
her
hot rock massages.
her massages on cruise ships.
Mhm.
So maybe that will have to be a series of Melody rating her
I
time,
completely forgot about that one. So
her experiences. But until then, we're gonna
Wait
say
a second.
good night.
So and all, how would we? Each person has to rate 1 out of 10 how good the cruise was.
okay,
Mommy,
I'm gonna say 8.
Daddy,
I'll give it an 8.
Brenna.
I give it 10.
She gives it a 10. Look at that Carnival. Here's your little spokesperson.
And Bryson, what do you think?
Maybe 8.5.
Okay.
So you can see how much we love cruising. So this time we will say goodnight.
Yeah, and we'll see you on the sea.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Peace.
Now it's time to get back to watching my iPad.